And primarily, we're going to be talking about pets. But under the Fair Housing Act, and also under the Hawaii Civil Rights Commission, and that's in your materials, the Hawaii Civil Rights Commission is much stricter, much more prone to find a violation of the Hawaii Housing Act than if it was dealt with solely by HUD or the feds. So anything that I'm talking about now, I'm going to give you some generalities, but with the Hawaii Civil Rights Commission, a lot of things that I'm going to show you that courts have said, they probably wouldn't go and agree, and they would say, no, that is discrimination. So when you have issues, but individuals with disabilities may be able to keep an assistance animal as a reasonable accommodation. In order to qualify, the assistance animal must be necessary to afford the individual an equal opportunity to use and enjoy a dwelling. Okay? So that's saying if you have a no pet, not getting into fishes and birds stuff, just a no pet or a no dog, that's saying you have to make an accommodation and allow it, even if your documents say no. Okay? There are, HUD recognizes 3 types of assistance animals. There's the service animal, which is generally speaking, a dog that has been specifically trained specifically for you. Okay? There is the psychiatric service animal that keeps the people who, I see dead people. That's them. And the emotional support animal, otherwise known as the comfort pet. Okay? I'm not making light. What you're going to see is I'm making light of the abuses that I'm seeing, and it's spreading. Okay? Service animal. Yeah, it has to be specifically trained. Generally speaking, a dog. Now, comfort animals. The ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, no longer, for the last 3 years, requires a business to allow a comfort pet in. The stories from New York with the boa constrictors and the chickens and things going into residents. If I don't have my snake around my neck, I kill people. Oh, your table is ready right now. Comfort. I need my pet to keep me calm. And they do have a calming effect. Nursing homes and hospice and things. I mean, again, I'm not debating it. We're talking about now people who are latching on to that in order to bring in pets, dogs, into no-pet communities. Says service dog, access required. How much training do you think that dog got? Okay. There's a case from California that involved a Chihuahua that wore a vest that said service dog, access required, although that's not the exact dog. The person came to the board and said, I have a disability. I have a bad back. And she got letters from doctors that said, to whom it may concern, and it was so faded, it had been reproduced so many times you could barely read what the reason was, and then there was a signature, and other things that said she needs a comfort animal, an emotional, because after she hurt her back and her son got her that dog, when that dog would sit in her lap, she would feel better. Okay? But then the dog started coming with her everywhere on the property. And the board kept saying, you can't have that dog. And she kept saying, but I can because it wears a vest and I got a letter. And she filed a Fair Housing Act complaint, and the association won. One of the few times. The association said, and this is where you have the right to ask. This may not be true in Hawaii, but you have the right to ask when it's a comfort animal, what exactly does it do for you? And it has to be related then to your use of the property. Making me feel calm when it sits in my lap in my unit is a whole lot different than taking it to the pool, to the library, in the clubhouse, all those things. So the association kept saying, we're not challenging that you have a bad back, but why do you need that dog?